Hello everyone, welcome, good morning. We are not muted, yay. Important things to check. So, welcome, good morning. We are all here. Thank you for joining me this lovely Wednesday morning. We're going to go around, do the thing, and we will let everyone say who they are because I realize I didn't put anybody's name on the overlay. That's a problem. I should do that. But while I'm doing that, we're going to let people introduce themselves. So we'll go around clockwise, starting with Kat. Good morning, Kat.
Good morning. I am caffeinated. I am medicated. I am here. It's just now 8 a.m. I'm definitely ready to stab somebody. Hi, I'm Kat. I'm a clerk of court. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to play with all of these lovely folks. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. Knives out. This time it won't be somebody aiming at my character.
Yes, we are probably aiming at other people. Then next up is the wonderful, fabulous Good Morning Pope.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Build on Twitter, Pope World Build on the Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. And I curse the Daystar. But we are here. We are ready for some intrigue, for some conflict. Stabbing! It's going to be a wonderful time.
There's gonna be stabbing. I mean, well, somebody gonna get stabbed.
I'm going to need the violins, I think.
Violins? I mean, why would we want to rush these things? Why did that not do what I wanted it to do? Because it didn't do the thing. There we go. There we go. Cool. Yeah, yes, Pope, make sure you have your knives to stab with.
I have a drawer of them.
Those are very effective. Next up is Lindy. Good morning, Lindy. Thank you.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Lindy, and I'm here for the murder. Stabbing is fun and all, but I'm really here for the murder.
I mean, there's an entire great Italian metal band that based on Impromptu. It's based on ancient Rome, and they have a song called 21 Stab Wounds. Just letting you think about what that means. But yes, here for the murder. We support the murder. Hey, Jim. Help us out here.
Good morning. I do support the murder.
Don't arrest us.
Cut to a few weeks later when they take all of this out of context and play it back. I'm
That's
Jim.
my goal.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was all a plan. It was all a trap to get us here, to lure us here, to talk about how excited we are to stab Julius Caesar, because I really am.
I mean, I'm not on enough lists. I need to be on more lists.
I know, right? You'd think I got on enough lists as a writer, but with my Google history.
Oh no, you're not on the exclusive lists though. It's like, trying to get into a fancy club.
I have to actually get you on camera streaming live saying that you want to stab someone.
Yes.
I mean, you really want to be on a list. Try and carry a nebulizer through security in the early 90s on airplanes.
Oh man.
That will pretty much guarantee you end up on a list.
That's
Why
fair.
do you need to take this engine on the plane? Because I can't breathe without it. Seems a lot. Are you sure you don't need to leave it here with TSA? Yes. It is medically necessary. Only beat out by the individual that I actually did almost get fired from the TSA many years later after 2000 when he was like, so, what are these? those would be my EpiPens. So I'm gonna confiscate them because you can't have needles on the plane. I'm like, you can't. He goes, no, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed to do that. I'm gonna do it. See, your boss is standing over there. He and I have a thing because I fly through this airport like once a month and we talk to each other. Do you really want me to talk to him about the fact that you won't let me carry my medically necessary EpiPens through your airport? You can't threaten me. Hey, George, how are you? How you doing?
I'm not threatening you. I'm stating facts.
I just legally changed my name to Karen. I'm gonna go talk to your manager now.
No. I never ever changed my name to Karen. I just learned
There's a difference between Karening and going, hello, let me state some cold hard facts to you.
This is true.
Let me tell you how to do your job because obviously you don't know.
Also,
Not a, you know what you're doing and I'm just being a bitch about it.
There's also that distinction, and then there's the even bigger distinction that, like, also side note, as we're doing this and it is morning, always make sure you make friends with the security guards, the janitors, and these receptionists in your building or at any place, because these are the people who know how to get done.
Housekeeping.
Or the bouncers. And the bouncers.
Yep. Yeah. When my husband was traveling every week and he would stay at the same place over and over and over again, he got sick one time, really sick, when he was at work, and housekeeping him was bringing him chocolate chip cookies and chicken noodle soup on the house.
Yes, exactly. You make friends with these people. So when I said I made friends with your boss, it wasn't me being stupid. That was just me being like, no, this guy was nice. I was chatting with him.
We're buddies.
We're buddies. I love how I do a whole thing and then I delete it and don't save it. So, hi y'all. We're playing some conspiracy of... Oh, I have to update it. It's morning, right, y'all? It is morning.
How to function.
How to function. My how to function is not currently working. It will be
Feels
working.
like a Monday morning. I know it's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday.
It is Wednesday. Oh, jeez. Speaking of knives, hi, Shauna.
Hi, Shauna.
Shauna had the knives out yesterday for me.
Oh, and look.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for the rest of the characters, too. Always.
And Time's here. Good
Shauna's
morning,
great like
Time.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm still recovering emotionally.
Cool. So everybody's got their names now. There's a thing. Why is my name such a pain in the butt? Because it's my name.
I like having a name.
There you go. Now we all have names. Now we all are actual people. Cool. Sorry, y'all, as I rambled.
Sense of self.
Yeah, sense of self. Welcome. We are here. We are going to be playing a game that I wrote called Descended from the Queen. It's a Descended from the Queen game called Conspiracy of 44 BCE. No. I'm breaking things. It's fine. I'm not breaking things. It's cool. Great. We're still good.
Yep.
And it is a Descended for the Queen game about the assassination, or the time and conspiracy around the assassination of Julius Caesar. Ooh, words. And so we are going to be playing some of that. It is fun. That's not the command I need to edit. Oh, this one. Duh. And it is a fun little game I wrote, and hopefully you all have fun, and hopefully you enjoy yourselves. You don't have to have a lot of understanding of Roman history. I built this so you didn't have to, but if you are an actual student of Roman history, then you will get some really cute kind of nods in. We are also still raising money for the Veil Project. You can type in command donate, and it is pops up right there. So, everybody is in 020 now. Yes, we are all here. We are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Alright. Full disclosure, I thank you, Jim, for helping me learn how to do this and build decks in these things. I appreciate it.
Oh, all right.
Because I could reverse engineer what you did last time.
Awesome. Just pleased to see it out in the wild.
It works. It does work well. So first there are 3 decks. There's one for rules, there's one for setting, and then there's one for the prompts. For the Queen is really actually a great system. Descended from the Queen, excuse me. For the Queen, the game itself is good. Go play it. It's fun. Hashtag not sponsored. It is written by Alex Roberts and produced by Evil Hat Games Publishing Productions. But one of the great things about it is that the rules are built into the game. So when you buy the game, the rules are created so that everyone, the first time you play it, is going to understand because the rules kind of guide you through it. So why don't we start with Cat. Just go ahead and you should be able to choose the first card in the rules and just slide it over onto the big white open space. And you're muted.
Yep, because professional streamer.
Mm-hmm.
First I have to see the big white space. Okay. Rules. Just slide it over. Okay, no, we're gonna have to draw it. All right.
Yeah, you have to draw and then...
All right.
Draw, put it in your hand, take it, put it on the thingy.
Yep.
And it should be the right size. Because I also figured that out.
Okay, rules is there.
And then just read the card aloud.
Read these rules aloud, each player taking a turn.
Yep. Then Pope, you do the next one. Yeah, you have to deal it to your hand. You have to draw and then from your hand put it on the desk.
You can hover off the top and drag, I think.
Yeah. Just leave it there. Yeah, so
finding things.
okay.
As I have only singular monitor.
I
I'm
understand
so
that.
sorry.
Life.
So, me trying to find where my hand is located.
Should be at the bottom. But you haven't dealt to yourself yet.
Oh, I did.
Mm-mm.
There we go.
Modern technology. And then, yeah.
There. A player who answers a question card may do so
Okay, hold
as
on. What happened?
Did it get all shuffled?
Yeah, it did. Good morning. Thank you for that wonderful donation. We will be back with more Aeneid later this week. It did get all shuffled. Hold on.
Huh.
Why did it do that? I'm going to fix the thing. It might be the settings. What did it do in the settings? Rules. Oh, poo, hold on. Cool. Okay, so now. Okay, I'm just gonna do this because I need to be able to see, and I am blind. Sorry. Okay. I can't fix it right now, so we're just gonna go let Pope read that one, and then I'll do the next one.
Okay.
It should be okay.
A player who answers a question card may do so as simply or as elaborately as they wish. Other players may make suggestions or ask follow-up questions. The one who drew the card can accept those suggestions or answers those questions to whatever extent they prefer.
Yeah, hold on. That's not gonna make sense, because...
Well, I do have the PDF up, so I can read that one. Okay.
Yeah. See, thank you, Pope, by the way. They should be in the right order, though. Read the rules aloud, taking a turn. A player...
So the next thing
is,
shuffle the prompt deck without the "Do you join the conspiracy" prompt card.
Yeah, there you go. Then it should be...
Following one is place the "Do you join the conspiracy" prompt card.
Yeah, that's the harder... here, there we go. The harder part is because these are so small, I can't actually read them.
Yeah.
So, place the "Do you join the conspiracy" prompt card at the bottom in the bottom third of the deck or bottom half of the deck, depending on how things are going. There we go. Then
when a player draws a prompt card, they have 3 options.
Yeah, we're just gonna let Pope read these because he's dulcet toning, and we appreciate the dulcet toning.
Followed by your options are read aloud and answer it from their character's point of view. Pass it to the next player in turn order, saying, "I'd like to hear you answer this question."
Hold on.
And then the last is tap the X card, or otherwise indicate the card is being X carded, and draw another one to replace it.
And we do have an X card location visible to all the players. It's just not visible right now because of space on the overlay. But we all can see it, and we all have access to it. We can exit a card for any reason. You can exit anyone else's card.
Then, a player who answers a question card
so
may do so as simply or as elaborately as they wish. Other players may make suggestions or ask follow-up questions, and the one who drew the card can accept those suggestions or answer those questions to whatever extent they prefer. A player who receives a passed card may answer it, X-card it, or pass it the same way the original player did. The original player's turn is now over, and the player who received the passed card's turn will be over when they pass or answer it.
Okay. And then...
X-carding a card does not end a player's turn. They draw the next card and continue. Players can also X-card prompts that are drawn by other players, or any other content that arises during the game. The X card removes content from the game and does not need to be explained or justified by the one who used it. Then, take turns answering, passing, or Xing prompts until you come across the "Do you join the plot" question card. When the "Do you join the conspiracy" card is played, each player answers the question in turn, and the game ends.
There we go. Everybody, makes sense to everybody? So we go around, we answer questions, we take turns. So, setting. Cool, those are in order. I don't know why the rules are not in order, but the setting should be in order. So, Lindy.
Yes.
Go ahead and draw the first setting card.
But
Okay.
not ever. Whoa.
I think it
Not
draws at
everyone's
random. Even though the cards are in order, it may be drawing random.
It might be.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
I don't know
the
why.
first card-
Okay, but I got this. Wait, hold on. Here we go.
Rome, February 44 BCE.
People always leave that E off. It's so annoying.
Considering it wasn't common until much
I know.
later. I still make that mistake. And then Jim.
Imperator Gaius Julius Caesar has been declared dictator for life. Sorry, I don't know why I suddenly woke up just then, but there we are.
I mean, being woken up by Julius Caesar being declared dictator for life, I can see that.
Taking
Hold on.
away Jim's coffee now.
That's the right one. But not everyone is pleased by Caesar and his control of Rome and the Senate. Cat?
You all are Roman citizens, members of the Senate, witnesses to Caesar's reforms. That sounds so familiar.
It's different, though. Significantly different.
I've seen the ravages of civil war and the benefits of this new peace.
Oh, I skipped one. But it doesn't matter.
His reforms have brought him favor with the population.
And then, but not everyone is.
Yeah, it's fine.
But not everyone is pleased by Caesar and his control of the throne and the Senate. And then, our dear friend, Jim.
You are. Yeah, there we go. But are you? Are you? Or are you? Yes. But you. Yeah. 2, 3, 4. But are you truly a supporter of this new Rome and the authority of Gaius Julius Caesar? Are you?
I mean, I don't know.
You can neither confirm nor deny. Any
This
support I may
revolution-
or may not have.
I mean, there's lots of questions involving that. There are going to be a lot of questions involving that. All right. So,
Or deny whether or not I own a dagger?
please,
Sorry
there's no
about that.
harm, there's no crime in owning a dagger in Rome.
Oh, no.
Also, by the way, full disclosure this is my Roman teacher moment. This game is designed gender neutral, although if you know anything about Roman history, Roman citizens are only male and freeborn. But we're just kind of waving that away for right now. Well, the male portion of the discourse. But... Oh, Pope, they're saying your sound's a little low? I can pull you up a little bit then. Is the music too loud? Alright, then. Thank you, time. We appreciate it. guess I want to shuffle this deck. And I want to shuffle it again. Because I know how this works. What I'm going to do for our benefit is just, move that over here for right now. Okay, cool. It didn't do anything. Alright, there we go. Sorry, just fixing things. We're just gonna deal and, let's see. Who wants to go first?
Do we want to just keep going the
You can
clockwise?
just keep going. I will then, I believe it's my turn, so I will deal 1 to myself. Cool.
Keep it easy.
Cool. Caesar praised you once. Why do you still think on that moment? Why do I always get these ones right off the bat, Lindy? Why did Caesar praise me once? Why do I still think on that moment? Because it was immediately after him violently being displeased with someone else.
Ooh.
Who was it he was violently displeased with?
A legate in the Legion who failed his duty and ran from some Gauls, abandoning the supply chain, refusing to follow understanding of, you know, security.
Were you friendly with this legate?
No, but it was rather surprising to see the tonal shift in the immediate flip-flop of personality.
Okay.
Alright then. Cat.
Right. No, mouse cut. There you go. Sometimes the mouse doesn't want to go from one screen to the next.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Oh. Caesar knows of your affairs with another member of the Senate. Why does he keep your secrets? Because I keep his.
Would you care to share at all about what this secret might be?
Let's just say that I know where a literal skeleton is buried.
Does anybody else know about this affair with another member of the Senate?
The person I'm having the affair with.
Oh,
I'm glad they know.
yeah.
That could be awkward if they didn't.
Could be.
Or I'm hallucinating, one of the two.
I wouldn't worry about it.
Which of the two of you is more beloved by the people?
Ooh.
Definitely. It would definitely be myself. And I am close enough to Caesar to know one of his secrets and to keep it. Therefore, I am openly seen as a supporter of Caesar, to stay his favor, to keep his favor. And by supporting Caesar, the people support me.
I got nothing yet. I have some thoughts.
Yeah, same.
I have some thoughts. Pope.
Well, now, why does your family have a personal hatred of Cassius?
He has stated Cassius Longinus, excuse me.
He has a lean and hungry look.
He is poor with money, worse with hygiene, and terrible with word. His mismanagement of funds, horses, and his general ill-temperedness has both soured me and my family, to him and his house. We do not hide this. There's no need to.
It's pretty self-explanatory to me. I don't have any questions about that.
How did your family react when news of his success in Parthia reached Rome? The great battlefield commander of Cassius.
We saw it as an unfortunate twist in fate. Sometimes even a blind fool can walk straight.
Interesting. Interesting. I love it when Shakespeare gets to overrule history. I got nothing else at the moment.
All right. Ooh. You owe a prominent senator a debt. Why are you afraid of what he will ask of you? 'Cause I can't pay it back. So, yeah, there's a lot of debt, not a lot of repayment going on.
What
So,
is this senator's reputation?
well, you know, it's about par for course for a lot of senators. Doesn't like to not get paid back. They're not known for being cruel, but they're also not known to be the most forgiving people or person.
Are you also a member of the Senate?
Yes.
I mean, the game assumes that. I'm going to be honest. The game
Yeah.
assumes that everyone's
Yeah.
a member of the Senate.
Oh,
Because otherwise the question doesn't work.
oh, I was assuming that you could also be a powerful general in the army or something like that. So
once you're a powerful general of the army, you're a member of the Senate.
Fair.
Roman governmental setup now. Once you've ruled a province or been a major general, you're a member of the Senate for life. So,
would you care to Sorry.
Hmm.
Would you care to elaborate on the nature of the debt?
A lot of money. It's a whole lot of money.
Yeah. Would you care to elaborate on what you needed it for?
You know, one must keep up appearances. Of having money by borrowing money.
How much of this money was spent on wine and parties?
A lot. Appearances, you know.
And we assume that that's what happened to your money to put you in this position?
What? No. That would be ridiculous.
Are you related to Cassius?
Distant cousins. Very distant, like twice removed. Very, very distantly. I don't like it though. He's way better with his money than I am.
Distant enough to be deniable?
Yes.
Jim.
Hey. I'm gonna grab a card. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that answers the question. Your mother was Pompeia, Caesar's second wife, whom he divorced after rumors of infidelity. Why have you always thought kindly of your former mother's husband?
Of your mother's former husband, not your former mother's husband.
Right. Words, morning.
It would be a very different question otherwise.
That is true. Caesar's second wife, whom he divorced after rumors of infidelity. I always thought kindly of your mother's former husband, Caesar, presumably.
Yes.
I have always thought kindly of him because he was always, he helped. He helped instruct me in the ways of certain items of business, which I then. Let me see here. I've always thought kindly of. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, I always thought kindly of him because I'm going to change history slightly, possibly, and say that of the timing of my birth and all that, but yeah, I think that he helped me with certain business endeavors, and I in turn have been helping him with my business endeavors since that time. And we find that we found it thus far to be a decent arrangement. So it's in the past he was always very fair with things.
Since we're going off of changing history, because I threw this question in to change history, were there any ever rumors of your relationship to Caesar and your birth?
I don't. I'm thinking that in fact, in the degree to which I'm changing history might be in the different way. I'm going to say actually not as such, because I think I was around before the marriage happened.
Okay, that's a big change.
Possibly, if that's it. Well, yeah, I'm trying to figure out. That's why I'm trying to Google desperately while talking at the same time.
Okay,
so
well,
I can remember.
for your information, Pompeia and Caesar have been divorced for about 25, almost 30 years at this point.
Okay, all right.
20, at least 20, because they get divorced in 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got to find out how old they were when they were married, or how old
their-
she was rather when they were married.
Yeah, well, that's gonna be more complicated.
Yeah. Because we don't really know.
So rather that there were no rumors that Caesar was your father after they were divorced, but then there was no rumors that Caesar was your father when he married your mother.
Well, there was always talk. It could have been, it's possible. But, that kind of thing tends to go away when, the right words are spoken in the right ears.
Were the rumors of your mother's infidelity true?
To be honest, it's I'm pretty sure that the problem isn't generally one of infidelity. The problem is generally one of infidelity being discovered.
Oh, yes. Also, this is the famous quote, Caesar's wife must be above reproach.
Yeah, there was rather that. So,
Does your mother... Go ahead.
Given your relationship with Caesar, what is your relationship with your mother like?
Yeah. We got along rather well. We were friends. We were like friends. For quite a while. And that was rather strained when the divorce happened. And that was rather unfortunate. But at the same time, my mother, I'm going to always be, was always as helpful to her and as supportive of her as I could be.
Okay. I got nothing else. Anyone else?
Nope.
Sorry, it takes the GM a couple extra steps. Come on, find the corner. There we go. Ooh. This is oddly appropriate, but it's interesting that I got it. While your family may be patrician, you haven't been wealthy in some time. How do you maintain the appearance of wealth?
Ooh. I know this one.
Well, unlike some people, we didn't go into debt to various others because, that would limit the appearance of wealth and cause, But we did go into the fine and upstanding tradition of trading favors, as it were. So we maintained our ability to keep people believing that we're wealthy by not actually spending as much and making it, doing small things at small times. Trading in favors and information.
It's like a lot of work.
Trading favors with whom?
Various other families, particularly the wealthier families that are not necessarily patrician. Some wealthy plebeians. And, not to drop names, but the Cornelii, the Cornelii are quite useful at times.
Who all knows about your financial situation?
I think we're really good about it. We're it's one of those. It's a family, like, more than just this generation kind of level of. We may have been on the wrong side of certain people, like Sulla, and therefore, excuse me. And therefore, we've been gotten good at hiding it, so I think very few people. But, rumor is a thing I cannot control. Exactly. Stoic rather than Epicureans. Definitely hold that stoic banner high. We're not throwing lavish parties because we're poor. We're not throwing lavish parties because we're stoics. When philosophy helps you.
How do you feel about Caesar's current reforms?
I mean, they're going to make a lot of people wealthy, and they're going to benefit a lot of people in the political sphere, and I can see some definite benefits to them.
Including to you and your family?
There may be some serious benefits to me and my family, not the least of which is, the benefit that comes from how they, who begins to able to gain funds and when and all of these things. Also, entrances to certain establishments and political connections. The tax benefits will be great. Just saying. Land reforms will be even better. That, pension and actual land ownership will be great.
No more from me.
Cat.
Oh, let's see.
Ooh, wait, let's hold that one.
Hold that one?
Yeah, hold
Okay.
that one.
Yep. All right, we'll draw another one then.
Mm-hmm.
How appropriate. No, go away. No, I don't want to do that. So I'm trying to figure out how to close this little. There we go. All right. Your lover was insulted by Cassius during the civil wars. Why can you never forget that insult? Because they insulted my lover. There are some insults that cannot be forgiven, especially when delivered by someone like Cassius.
What was the insult? Or what was it against? Honor, family, appearance?
Aren't they all the same?
I mean, Cicero did call Catiline a catamite right in the middle of the Senate, so, well, there's that.
How do I put this? It came a little too close to a truth. Suggesting that if one will betray a vow, one might betray other vows.
Was your lover on the same side as Cassius during the Civil War? Did they fight for Pompey?
Was.
Ooh.
Let's just say that tropes go way, way back.
I love a good trope.
And enemies to lovers is the best.
You know, it is. Is that why Cassius insulted your lover for abandoning the cause? Before Cassius abandoned the cause?
I think that played a part in it, but there was always a bit of personality friction there.
I got nothing else.
Everything seems pretty clear to me.
And so, you served in Caesar's army in Gaul as a young officer. Why do you still dream of those campaigns? Things were so much clearer then. You had a clear enemy. You had a clear objective. Things made sense. You held to your orders and your honor, and you drove into the heart of the enemy. A sword is a lot easier to wield than words, and gets a much cleaner and concise job done. One doesn't have to play to crowds. One doesn't have to assuage people's feelings. You just do the job, and the job gets done.
Were you, how to phrase this, were you well liked by your troops?
Well liked? Again, I will be honest. Well liked by some. Seen somewhat tyrannical by others. But we held the lines. We pressed forward. Job got done.
In your dreams of those campaigns, do things go at all differently, or do they stick to to what you witnessed originally?
In dreams, there were less losses of life on my side. But mostly the narrative stays the same. Also, I got a little more credit. But what one gets in dreams.
Do you regret someone getting credit for your actions? Or do you resent, I should say, someone in particular getting credit for your actions?
Resent... I don't resent them. They're not the ones that are doing the heaping of praise. Those are by those who call themselves historians. Those who call themselves peers. They heap the praise on Caesar, and to a good degree, Caesar has earned it. But if you went entirely according to them, he fought the Gauls single-handedly. Caesar is a good general and a good man, but he's not a god.
Have you read his book?
No.
Interesting. Interesting.
Do you wish you had stayed in Gaul?
I don't know. Gaul has a very particular problem. It's filled with Gauls. I'd much rather be home.
I got nothing else.
All right. Caesar owes you a debt. Why have you never called upon that debt? It's Caesar. And don't really want to be associated like super close with him. B, because by calling upon the debt, it would make my poor destitute's house state even more obvious. It wouldn't be, like Caesar wouldn't be private about it. He'd make it very public.
Well known as
So far,
magnanimity
people are.
secret.
Yeah. So there, people would find out, or Caesar, it's Caesar. B, people would find out about the lack thereof of money and the debts that I owe. And then also they'd find out that I was owed money, but that I owe money. It's complicated. They don't need to know that.
Keeping that in mind, how many people know that Caesar owes you a debt?
Very, very few.
Who?
It's probably 2 senators, because they were there at the time when Caesar got this debt.
What's the debt?
Some money, and a lot of favors, which could translate into money.
Are these the senators that you take your loans, that you borrow money from?
No. Definitely not. Because then they'd be like, hey, why don't you go talk to Caesar? Why don't you go talk to Caesar? Why don't you go talk to Caesar about this? And I don't want to deal with that. So they're different senators.
Still, the temptation to go talk to Caesar must be there.
But it is a little bit. But then whenever that happens, I just throw another party. So helps you forget.
What favors, aside from the money, did you do for Caesar?
Well, he needed some people to disappear. And they did.
Is this a service that you often offer? Or is this something that specifically you only did because it was Caesar?
Oh, it's for people who are in the know. I didn't want Caesar to find out, but he did. Ugh, really inconvenient. Because I have a feeling I'm never going to get that money and favors back. But it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, I have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Were the people who disappeared, how to phrase this delicately, were they tied to any of the rest of us?
I don't really keep track of all that. I just get a list of names and I just make things happen.
So it wasn't a one-time deal for Caesar then?
Oh no, he owes me a lot. I think he knows him. I think he suspects I'm never gonna call him out on it because he'll make it all public then. So I think he just keeps racking up debt. Like me, maybe it's a distant family thing. Maybe it's just
Are you related to Caesar?
Very distantly. Enough so that it could be discounted.
Would you say that your relationship is one of Keep your friends close and keep your enemies close.
Yeah, I would say it's something like that. I wouldn't say it's not that.
Nothing further.
All right. Righto. Yeah. Perfect. You ever get a question and it aligns exactly with what you wanted?
Yes.
You profited well by Caesar's wars in Gaul. Why do you hide your wealth? Well, it's the family connection that is, really supposed to not be there anymore. So I don't want to, have suspicions of nepotism come about. But like I said, he was good for my business.
What is your business?
I acquire things to
I was
supply
really hoping you were gonna
people.
say my business is killing and business is good, but
I don't do the killing. I just provide things that perhaps people might use to stab other people. I sometimes provide things that help keep people from getting stabbed. I've managed to put together this thing, and it was. I'm just gonna say it was very nice to see a good amount of sponsorship happening in Gaul. But we don't want to flaunt that. That's a thing where you do too much flaunting of that, and people start to ask the wrong questions, and then people begin to wonder if you are if they can trust you to keep quiet about their affairs. The confidentiality is very important to our clients.
So yes to the murder.
I mean,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Once the swords leave our ports, I have no idea what people do with them. Really, they just get where they're supposed to go.
How did you hide the money?
Oh. Well, to a certain extent you invest things, to a certain extent you to a certain extent you can hide it in plain sight. There are, it's fascinating if you know the right people, that let's say, you have either relatives or other folks working for you in certain other areas of service, then they basically say you can lend money to someone and then make that money back when they pay off those other people. It's a very interesting and intricate little web that happens. You'd be amazed at the things people just want to borrow huge sums of money for. It's an utter delight.
Okay.
Nothing more here.
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
We all related?
I mean, patrician families in Rome, yes.
The tree has Sadly, not as many branches as we might like.
I mean, marriage and complicated things. You have a personal family tie to Cassius. Why do you try to hide that connection? Well, in this particular case, I'm going to say that Cassius is my mother's first cousin. And I attempt to hide that connection because the man is not. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Because the man is, well, a little well known. Problem is, I like his younger brother. We get along. We have similar political views. We have similar actions we have taken for politics and siding against Pompey in Sicily. But Cassius is of the more popular of the two, and he is difficult to deal with. Also, I'm trying to hide certain financial difficulties that we had as a family. I don't need Cassius, who can't really keep his mouth shut about a lot of stuff.
How would your ties to Cassius ruin you?
I don't know that they would ruin us, because it is through my mother, and therefore first cousins. More easily deniable, but it's just difficult. Just he's difficult. I'd rather not have to deal with him. But if I acknowledge the relationship to him, if I deny the relationship to him, then I have to deny the relationship to other members of his family who are intelligent and useful. Also, his wife's kind of nice. But it's not advantageous to be seen with him.
And if it were to become advantageous?
Then he might get invited to more family dinners.
Interesting follow-up. Why does Cassius resent his family connection to you? Because did not support him. And especially after his insult to my lover and a few other things. Unlike others, it is Cassius who prefers to keep the family connection between us not well known. as opposed to myself trying to hide it. Although, we'll say that it was part of another piece of the Cassius made a family quarrel public by insulting my lover, and yeah, it's complicated.
I actually thought of a question. Is the nature of what do you think that the insult was motivated? Was it sheerly like an emotional not getting along thing, or do you think there was actually something else, some sort of machination behind it?
There was some machination behind it. Again, how to phrase this? Long story short, Cassius presented that I did not support him in the war, and when my sorry, my brain is going in like 10 different directions, so I'm trying to put all the pieces together here. Because it is complicated. There are, how do I put this? There are multiple motivations, I think is the best way to put this. Both familial and political.
Why is it detrimental to Cassius? Who would benefit from this connection getting out to the public?
That's just it. It is public knowledge. There are some things that can't be hidden. And it was expected that through this family connection that I would support him. Not only did I refuse to support him, I stole away one of his supporters.
Is Cassius your brother?
Blood is a funny thing.
Is Cassius biologically related by blood to brother? Is he your biological brother? I should rephrase the question.
Mm-hmm. There are some that say that we are. And there are some who would deny that.
That's good for now. good for now.
Well now, Caesar's wife Calpurnia showed you kindness once. Why do you still think of that now?
Full disclosure, Calpurnia is his current wife.
Given the day-to-day, given that she has so much to do, is so publicly seen, is not foolish enough not to know this. I am not necessarily the most popular among my peers. So in her showing me kindness, it said a lot, both to my senators, to the people, and to Caesar. It would have been far more convenient to not. Genuine acts of kindness, especially when ones aren't politically sound, are fleeting and wrong. And so I dwell on it. A genuinely good person, this close to Caesar, this close to the Senate. It makes one worried.
Did Caesar seem to be angered or resent this act of kindness from Calpurnia towards you?
Anger's too strong a word. Disappointed, inconvenienced. It's one of those things that would make it so that he would have to, assuage the personalities of some of the other senators. One of those, this is going to cost me time and effort sort of inconveniences. Not enough to necessarily be ill with her, but enough to irk him.
All right. I'm good.
Why do you blame Caesar for your lover's death? That's interesting. Well, they were poisoned, my lover, and it wasn't until I was doing, some definitely legitimate arms dealer that I found out I wasn't the only person Caesar was giving lists of names to. Wow, crazy.
Did this happen to coincide with some other significant event?
Yes.
What was the event?
It was a festival. A very large festival taking place in Rome. It was right after we had, done a successful campaign in Gaul. Good stuff. Everyone was celebrating. Sacrifices were being made.
How certain are you of your now deceased lover's fidelity?
Well, we really did like going to Bacchanalia's. So, I mean, 70-30? 60-40?
How fond was your lover of Caesar?
Not. Less so than I am. Probably how his name got on the list.
Has this changed your view of Caesar?
Well, I was a bigger Caesar fan until that happened, but he still owes me some debts, and I owe a lot of money, so I don't want to necessarily sever that tie until I have a guaranteed way of paying back those debts, you know what I mean?
So there's some things you're willing to overlook for now.
Yes.
Until it is more profitable.
Yes.
Understood. Very practical.
Yes. Well, one must be practical. In some area of life. Politically practical. Financially.
Why do you think Caesar wanted them dead?
I'm not entirely certain on that one. I know he wasn't a Caesar fan, and he wasn't too quiet about it, but as far as I know, he never did anything super against Caesar.
So they weren't supporters of Cassius?
Nah. I mean, that might be enough to get you on the hit list, but they weren't super vocal against him. They were just, if you asked them, they would tell you what they thought.
Do you reckon that it's possible that in some way Caesar was trying to get your attention?
What? If he was, it didn't work. Not particularly well, at least.
Ooh. I'm gonna steal this question from chat. Did you think Caesar was sending you a message when you found out?
If he was, it didn't register particularly well. It didn't seem as much as like a message. I think if it was a message, it would have been a little more. I think I would have found out about it differently. Maybe it wouldn't have been poison. Something subtle.
How did you find out? How did you figure this out?
It was after the festival. I received word that my lover had died, and I went over, and because I was on the other side of the Bacchanalia, it always devolves to Bacchus. It's fine if you know the right people. Just, went over, and cause of death was said to be poison. I didn't find out about the list until a few weeks later at a very legitimate arms deal. Very legitimate. And I was chit-chatting with another person who was there, and caught a look at their list, and that name was scratched off.
Legitimate as in sanctioned by Caesar.
Sure. I don't know where the swords come from. They just, once they get off the boat, I mean, it's not, I don't know where they originated from. It's not my business where they came from.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Caesar once honored you above your peers. Why do you resent him for it? So there's this thing. There's this thing that is, you know, there's this kind of rule that you're not supposed to break, but he was Caesar, so of course he broke it. And you know, he kind of decided at the end of one of the more recent campaigns to call me out in a bit of praise for my assistance. And I could rather tell that this was one of those instances where he was rather trying to display the idea that is a bit of a message to me, as it were. It is a reminder that I am apparently supposed to be on something of a leash when it comes to him, as that as his success is the source of my success, that kind of thing. And you know, perhaps not to stray. It's not a warning I particularly needed. I also was not happy that he did it at our Vulcanalia, but it's
awkward.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward. Yeah. So, kind of given him side eye since then. It's a little bit. He's being a little, I think, overly protective of our relationship in that respect.
What actions have you taken since then? Since the relationship has soured?
Has it soured?
I mean, business is good at the moment. And so it's not soured as such. Professionally speaking, I think that, however, when you see things of this going on, one always tries to make sure there are, well, how does one say, certain assurances in place. He can wield his scepter all he likes at this point, and so I know people too, and just want to make sure that I've got good footing should he decide that he needs to increase the heavy-handedness of his little reminders to me.
Do you fear? Do you fear for your safety?
No. No. We have, let us say that, we have rather, excellent, we have rather excellent products, and we have a good amount of security around the creation and production of those products, and a great number of people to model those products, as it were. Perhaps even through use, should they need to. Demonstrations are always perhaps the best way to show a product's efficacy.
I take it you're not very particular about whom those products are demonstrated with.
Well, one does need subjects, shall we say, test subjects, demonstration subjects, and well, we do our research, but at the same time, it's the main question is, does it look good?
As in public demonstrations?
Well, there have been a few of those, but relatively recently, we had a very fascinating little thing involving a fellow named Pompey. Perhaps you've heard of him. So we're very pleased with how our some of our products are being seen across the Mediterranean. It's a delight.
Interesting.
Interesting. Well, I think on that note of political intrigue and possible arms dealing, we're going to take the break for the afternoon. Go refresh yourselves, get water, bio, caffeine, food, any and all of the above, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes, y'all. Hello, welcome back. We hope you are refreshed. We hope you had a beverage. Hope you got up, walked around, stretched. You'll notice that we lost a Lindy. She had to step away, but that's okay, because we're going to keep playing. And we will see where we end up next. I believe it's my turn. It's my turn to, see what the cards have in store for my complex. Apparently, interesting stoic character. Why am I playing a stoic? Ooh. Why do you not fear Caesar's cruelty? Because it is never unexpected. If you know Caesar, you know that he is not mercurial or changeable with the winds. You know what he expects, and if you can know what he expects, you know how to avoid being on the wrong side of Caesar. I suggest more people be on the better side of Caesar. But
Unlike a poor legate.
Unlike a poor legate who abandoned his baggage train and should never have been there in the first place. He was standing behind the walls of a defensible fortification and decided, I'm going to go out into the field and bring his entire baggage train. No. It's poor decisions.
Is there more to your avoidance of Caesar's cruelty than just knowing how he acts?
I don't know what you are implying, sir.
I'm implying, do you think Caesar favors you?
Perhaps, but no more than anyone else who did honor in his service. And
But he has singled you out before.
True, but I deserved that. I earned that. I did my job and didn't screw up. Also performed wonderfully, admirably under pressure, so.
There's
If
that.
he- I do not claim honors more than I am due, and I do not claim... If he favors me, that is Caesar's prerogative and not one that I am 100% aware of.
But are you aware that Caesar does play favorites?
People have said this. I know that he seems to disfavor others, but in favor others. But you look at the clemency that Caesar grants. Cassius and Brutus sit in the Senate.
There is clemency and there is favoritism. They're very different things.
True. I cannot say that I do not... people say that Caesar plays favorites, and I would say that that is a possibility. All politicians have favorites. I would not choose the hubris of claiming I was one of Caesar's favorites. But others might make their own minds.
But would you deny that you have, for at least the time being, avoided Caesar's ire, which is also quite noted?
I do not deny that I do not draw Caesar, the negative anger of Caesar. No.
Nothing further.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Caesar would... Well, you would not claim the title of a favorite of Caesar. Do you believe that Caesar would name you as a favorite?
one of the skills I learned very early on in service to Rome. Never claim to speak for the superior officer.
Very well. No more questions.
I'm good.
Oh. Yeah, we're gonna change up the order a little bit. Because we changed the overlay.
I'm gonna pass this.
Ooh, cat.
Well, that answered that question because I can't see the overlay.
You can choose to answer or pass if your choice.
Right. I'm thinking. It is a cherished memory because it was unexpected. It was unnecessary on their part. And we all know Brutus was surprising. And so one can be to be the recipient of an unexpected and from a quarter, we cherish those memories. Doesn't change much. A gift given freely does not indebit the receiver. Yes, Brutus is an honorable man.
So are they all honorable men? I'm curious. Of course, I understand if you don't wish to say, but do you wish to speak to the nature of the aid that you received?
It was support from an unexpected quarter.
Was this support political or financial?
Political. Again, they can be so closely intertwined as to be one and the same often.
Why was this unexpected from Brutus? Brutus is known as a very honorable, charitable, and giving individual, beloved by the people. Why was this instance unexpected?
There have of late been a distance between, well, no, not a distance, how do I put this? He is indeed an honorable man, the support of the people, but there is been rumors of friction between, well, no, how do we phrase this? I'm phrasing this poorly because my brain is still not functioning properly and words are hard. Brutus has not hidden well his thoughts on Caesar's reforms and those who support the reforms, and so did not expect that political support in a certain area. That makes being
Were his support even more surprising given your disregard and distaste, public, for his brother-in-law, Cassius?
Well, family is difficult. Again, especially when there are relations both by blood and marriage that complicate things.
I've got nothing further. Jim.
Oh, yes. Why were you personally humiliated by Caesar? I think I would like to no, yes, no. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to take this on myself. I've already answered a very similar question to this in some ways. So yes, I think I'm going to pass this question along just to share the love.
To share the love. I'm actually going to ask Pope. I want to hear your answer to this question because I think we've established that Caesar has not humiliated my character.
That is fair. And I've been sort of in the middle.
Exactly.
So far.
Exactly.
Okay, so that is fair. The passer has become the passee.
As long as you don't become passé.
I'm afraid that has already happened. So humiliation. Again, Caesar is known for both his favoritism and his disfavor. And considering that he is, as he likes to be referred to, a force, sometimes not always thinking. And when you bring up the minutiae of one of his ideas, and how it might conflict with, the greater benefit. He likes to point out the small things in you as opposed to the small things in him. And as much as some of his detractors will say he doesn't have a steel trap memory, he does. And he will use even the slightest fault from your past against you. Especially when that fault might not actually be of your own making. Just how it's perceived by the people. Caesar uses the public as a cudgel. And Caesar will also use the opinion of your own soldiers against you, even after you've done Caesar a service. I may have been a bit of a tyrant back in my day leading troops, but it was for the benefit of Rome. I may not host bread and circuses to appease the public, as Caesar is wont to do. It is not that I do not love the people of Rome, but I do not think they need to be placated with something so childish. But my opinions don't matter. It is what the public thinks. It is what Caesar thinks. And so to call me tyrant, to call me uncaring, to bring that up not just with the Senate, but with the public. Yes, I know Caesar's ire.
Was there something that occurred recently to not justify, but possibly be an instigator, possibly the point at which the Caesar's desire to bring such things up in public again could be tied to?
Number of minor events. Again, I like to look at a plan from all angles. I also like to see what can go wrong. It's why I lost so few troops, even though I still lost some. Caesar likes to look things at the very big picture. A few casualties, whether it's financial or whether it's people, don't matter as long as he gets the job done. I don't like suffering. And it may also be true that I am overly fond of his wife, and she may be fond of me.
Ooh.
But then again, Caesar's eye is known to wander. But no one would accuse him of such a thing. Not in public, at least.
I mean...
Caesar's wife may have to be above reproach, but Caesar may not.
Indeed. It is very poor for a general, let alone Caesar, to be a hypocrite.
When did you say expectations are different?
There's expectations for a servant of Rome. There's expectations for the wife of a servant of Rome. There's expectations for those who would be called the leader.
Or king.
I have
I
heard
will
no
not-
man call Caesar king.
Neither have I. Though I have heard enough praise heaped upon him to make one think such. But he has not been called king, and to his credit, he has refused such offers and sometimes played down such praise. Not always. But he does play favorites. He does not look at the small things. Unless they are the small things that might threaten his reputation or that of his wife.
I mean, if we are being frank, it wasn't the small argument of infidelity, it was the issue of a certain gentleman entering into the festival of women and, you know, taking advantage of such things, but I understand.
I have never been accused of intruding. I tend to know where I am wanted and not.
Very important things to know. Cat. I got nothing else.
The intrigue is real.
Ooh, this is like oddly appropriate. Give it the last two cards you got.
I was going to say, now that we know the nature of his support. Again, family is complicated.
So does Brutus protect your lover because you're his brother-in-law? Or does Brutus protect your lover because they are related?
Brutus has great affection and love for his wife. And being related to the wife of Brutus.
Intriguing.
As I said, family is complicated.
It is known that Brutus is fond of his wife. Faithful, possibly to a fault, in the eyes of some. I will not say who. But, that being said, there are limits to what one does for family, especially when politics are involved. What other reason could there be for Brutus's protection?
it's not just my lover that he is protecting by shielding them from his political opponents. As I said, Brutus holds great affection for his wife, and he would prefer no aspirations or dim her standing.
Just out of idle curiosity, what sorts of things are those political opponents saying?
Yes, juicy fruits. I'd really rather not go into detail. Slander, libel, it's best to disregard them. The defense of the honor of my lover is also the defense of the honor of his wife. We'll leave it at that. Again, when some hinted betrayal of one vow, there may be a betrayal of another, so.
I got nothing else on that one.
No.
Oh, good. All right. And your family has directly benefited from Caesar's social/political reforms. Social reforms. Why does this anger you? My family has directly benefited. This makes us angry. Yeah. So, I mean, these days I have my own family, and there is a problem. A slight one. I don't know that I'd say I'm so much angry as I am torn. Because it kind of is an indicator that there may be peace coming for quite a while. And yeah, it's one of those things where he gives you something with one hand and he takes it away with the other. We've had a very good relationship business-wise, very good business relationship up until this point. And now he's kind of, I can see, and this part, it might have been even part of what he was talking about at the Vulcanalia, he's kind of sort of trying to encircle us all into this comfort that I'm not sure actually exists.
Let me ask you this question. Given the praise and honors Caesar has heaped upon you, what is worse? The love of the public or the ire of some senators?
It's interesting. As I said, I'm torn. I'm of two minds about the thing. The senators can imagine what they like, but this level of scrutiny is distinctly uncomfortable. And, while I appreciate the public's love, I also have a long enough memory to know that it is, shall we say, a love of the kind that ends the next morning in all too many cases.
Do you believe that this reforms will be harmful in the long run?
It hasn't really been my concern up until recently, but it's... I mean, we're creating a pattern of the idea of him being a dictator for life is rather... It's a thing that could be that, I mean, people are saying could be a grave problem. Because now instead of, well, you have to, if you'll forgive the phrasing here, it's often much better and more profitable to deal with many lunatics than just one.
All right.
Just, when you're at the whim of just a single lunatic, then goodness knows. I'm not saying he is a lunatic. I'm just saying that how many people do you want to, or rather, how many people? If you're just, the fewer people there are, the more beholden you get.
Mm-hmm.
And Pax Romana is never good for business.
Not the way he's talking about doing it now. No, I can tell you. Back then, it was understood. Back in the in earlier times, it was understood. Pax Romana was more of a, shall we say, a metaphor. Now he's talking about actually doing it. What the hell?
Fair.
Mm-hmm. All right, Zen. Ooh. Sometimes the cards just know. You saved Caesar's life once. How and why? Caesar was my commander. I did as on the field of battle. Enemy combatants, let us say. Caesar leading the charge and launching himself from the longboats onto the shores of Britain sounds well and looks well, but he is very distinctive in appearance, and for barbarians, the Britons are not entirely unintelligent, and could recognize the commander of the field when he disembarked and tried to lead the charge rouse the men and lead the charge, and certain individual tried very hard to stab Caesar in the back, and I made sure that that individual ended up dead before they could.
Do you have any regrets about that day?
About that day? No. I remember well Caesar's promises that he's made. And on the field of battle, we needed Caesar in command. He rallied the troops, led to a rousing crush of the opponents of the Britons. Did not lose the standard of the legion. I have no regrets about that day.
You made mention of promises. Caesar has made many. How certain of you he will fulfill all of them?
Caesar always keeps his word, whether you dislike it or not. Caesar will always keep his word. He does not need to lie. If he promises you he will come back and impale you all on spikes, then he will come back and impale them all on spikes. If he promises reward for service, then he will provide reward for service. Time might take longer, but Caesar always fulfills his word. Good or ill. Pope.
All right. So, Caesar has protected you in the past from political rivals. Why do you resent him for it? As a general, Caesar understood the use of a countercharge, but as a politician, he seems blind to it. When your rivals are in the wrong, you let them come. You give them the opportunity to say every terrible thing about you, so that in the forum, you can call them on it. You can remind the people of their grievous mistake. You do not cut off an enemy when they're going to overextend. And so, what some see as Caesar's benevolence is actually a robbing of opportunity and a strengthening of one's enemies. But then again, that's not how the people or your fellow senators will see it. They will only see it as benefit. They will only see it as benevolence, instead of robbing you of a golden opportunity.
You want to talk about your most recent opportunity that has been missed as a result of this?
Again, Caesar's benevolence has allowed Cassius to continue on in his seat. It would have been very easy to let that blind fool run his mouth until the people hanged him for it, until they would have called for his head in the streets. I was ready. But no. Caesar had to step in. Caesar had to cut him off. Caesar had to use his words of peace. He did not save me. He saved Cassius.
Who do you resent more for that, Caesar or Cassius?
Cassius is who he is. Always will be. Caesar robbed me, robbed Rome, of doing away with one of its great stumbling blocks.
Good to know.
I have no more question. I have no question. Some things are clear.
No further questions, Your Honor?
Then I believe it is Cat's turn.
I'm going to pass this one.
Oh, I'll take it. Why do I believe that the gods are angered by Caesar's reforms? The man interrupted our Vulcanalia, among other things. I hear tell that he's interrupted Bacchanalias with his own agenda. He has no respect for them, really. And as he takes the tools, and he uses them magnificently. He takes the tools that the gods give him. But then, well, even using his own claimed descent, his own, from the deity, from Venus. It was Venus, wasn't it? Yeah. I was trying to remember. Yeah, he even uses claims his own claimed descent from Venus as a tool. Everything and everyone to him is a tool, one way or another, it seems. And to be perfectly honest, while I'm happy to be used for my own purpose, ultimately, I am an instrument of Vulcan's, not his. And I think that it's going to be all too soon that one, and I don't know which one it is, but one of these cults that he's been pandering to recently is going to sooner or later catch fire. And we will be in the midst of a chaos we have never known previously. A chaos that is unfortunately not of the good and profitable kind. I mean, senators even have said of him before that things that he wants to do are irreligious. He takes too many liberties.
Would the displeasure of the gods be to the benefit or detriment of Rome?
Well, depends rather on the consequences, I would say. I mean, I think that in this immediate moment, at this time, it could be of benefit, but if a display of some sort were to occur, but ultimately, sort of the question, right? How much is the safe amount of poison to drink? Though I dare say something's coming, because I mean, he is not all of as much as he likes to tout his connection to Venus, he is not doing her bidding. And you don't sit there trying to make her reputation do yours.
Do you think it was Caesar's idea to reoffer the diadem, which would, in effect, place him among the gods?
Yes, it's kind of interesting that he would want to be on equal footing to them. It's just a progression I see of his policy.
Perhaps
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it were his idea.
Perhaps another reason why the gods might be angered.
Oh, indeed.
I have nothing further.
Just one last thing. Is the validity of Caesar's descent something to be questioned? Given all the liberties that he takes.
Well, I suppose if one acts as though one is a god, one will have, and one has enough support, you can get people to believe it.
Is belief enough? We deal in truths in Rome. And if
One
Caesar
hopes.
is claiming descent from Venus, and that is not the truth,
Are you decrying his connection to the Julian family, or are you denying the Julian family's connection as a whole to Venus?
I am saying that claims of divinity, especially when trying to curry favor with the people, is a tool of the desperate. If one truly is descended, let that be spoken of by others, not of yourself.
Fair point. I would say that it is there's enough evidence to suggest that the Julian family may indeed be. Certainly. If that is, and if it is indeed true, then that what he has done makes things even worse.
Belief is a dangerous thing. It's much easier
Right.
to change an idea than a belief.
He's trying to change that rather fundamental thing in our civilization to use the weight of belief, weight against truth, and the truth becomes lighter. That is an issue. Granted, belief is useful.
Ooh. You are closely related to Caesar. How do you hide this relationship, and why? The why is obvious. Because I am not legitimately related to Caesar. The how is also easy. My name was never mentioned as tied. My family name was never mentioned tied to him until I became of service in the wars in Gaul.
Question. Legitimate in the eyes of Law or blood?
Well, legitimacy is only a matter of law. And blood is, well, blood. And really, that could change at any time given how Roman adoption worked.
Very true.
Is your hiding of your relation for the benefit of Caesar, the benefit of Rome, or the benefit of yourself?
I would say half the benefit of Rome and half the benefit of myself. There is no advantage for Caesar in hiding our relationship. There is also no disadvantage in my father is deceased, but I maintain the family line and name of a patrician family of good standing. My mother is deceased. There is no cause for anyone to question. And thus Rome is served by another family and lineage to continue it on. A proud patrician family that has served for generations and will continue to do so.
Yes, but given Caesar's health, which has been called into question a couple of times now, and should something happen to Caesar, some say his current heir is a bit, well, ill-prepared to aid Rome. It's not that he does not have a mind for it, it is that he does not have the experience. And so should something happen to Caesar for the benefit of Rome, would you continue to hide? Or will you lay claim to what, in the eyes of some, is rightfully yours? You did save him.
It is... Caesar's heir is Caesar's heir. I have my own titles and family to account for. However, if Rome asks me to serve, I will always serve Rome. I would not claim the title of beyond that which I am due.
Yes, but how is Rome to make an informed decision when you continue to hide in the shadows?
I do not see how claiming of that lineage is a benefit to Rome. I can aid in the current heir, while untested, is not uninformed, and he would be well guided by myself and others whom Caesar has served and loved.
So, you propose then that Rome is supported by secrets instead of truth.
I believe that Rome has always been supported by secrets.
No further questions.
Does not a part of you resent the need to hide the decision to hide who and what you truly are?
No. I had family that was proud of me and proud of my service. I have connections that are political and not tied to any need to tie my name to that of Caesar's. I am respected by my own rights and inheritances. I have my honors on the field of battle were my own and by my own hand and my own name, and therefore carry even greater weight. I am not bound to Caesar's lineage or his mythology.
And it also gives you protection from the danger of being related to Caesar.
I'm from a Roman patrician. That's they're being related to Caesar just means that the people who want to stab you in the back are more public with it. Roman politics.
So there is a protection in hiding
Possibly.
that connection.
There are many abilities. I get. Pope.
How has your family benefited from the Civil War? Well, given that we have backed Caesar, there was much. Lands, wealth, status. Much has happened in the backing of Caesar. That being said, those benefits also come at a cost. As one is now innately tied to Caesar. The tides of opinion and politics. So as much as one had a hand in guiding one's fate, now one has less of a hand. It is now far more up to the Roman people, Caesar, and the gods.
I feel like throwing this in at the end because it's juicy and I want to do it. Was backing Caesar against Pompey a way to reclaim what your family had lost in failing to support Sulla?
A little. Little. I'm not going to lie. Again, in backing someone else, There were losses. It is not that Pompey was a bad man. Misguided. Also, Caesar was the stronger ruler between the two, the better general. I had seen that under his service. Also, it was quite clear who the public favored before the Civil War even broke out. One uses their reason. It's God-given. And by reason, it was clear to back Caesar.
That question took care of pretty much everything I had to ask about, actually.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, Kat.
You have been approached by Marcus Brutus and Cassius Longinus. Do you join in the plot to assassinate Gaius Julius Caesar?
And we each go around and answer.
My brother and Brutus have both, in their ways, at various times, ensured that I was not informed of various things prior to this plot. It was just one more thing on the list. It is hard to join something when you've not been asked.
So you're not going to join?
I was not asked to join. So,
Ooh.
no.
Ooh.
So, it's an interesting thing. I think that there's potential for lots of peace coming up, and that's not good for business. So, the thing being, generally, I never wield the knife myself, because but I can provide them with an excellent deal on knives for this particular occasion. Systems of distribution, things of that nature. The interesting thing about this, though, is that I actually have an excuse to wield one. And doing so might, in fact, help with things later if I am seen to be wielding one. Because I can always say that it was about my mother. And I don't think anyone's going to question that. If I'm going to be in the public eye because of what Caesar has done, I may as well take advantage of that. And hopefully then get back to business. And the conflict which is sure to come afterward.
I would like to add one thing.
Yep.
Well, I was not directly asked. I was informed as my lover was approached. Vocal support was given, but there was no active participation on their part.
I do not think I would support the assassination. At least the way things are described, we built it. No, I do not join the plot to assassinate Gaius Julius Caesar. And I think, despite attempts to undermine it, it just does, things go off. And I am helpless to prevent them from happening.
This is difficult. I have great love and respect for Brutus.
For he is an honorable man.
He is a just man.
Even better.
He is a reasonable man. And so he must have reason to do this. However, as much as my dislike Caesar, I respect him. And as much as I dislike Caesar, I have love and respect for Calpurnia. And I will be honest, my heart has nothing but hate for Cassius. But given this company, I do not join their plot, but I do not stop it.
Ooh. Possibly. So, there's much stabbing going on. 21 stab wounds to be specific. And then, the devolution into, the war with Cassius and Brutus, and then the devolution, the second triumvirate, and then that collapse, and oh look, Octavian. Hi, Octavian. But that was Conspiracy of 44 BC, a game that I wrote. It was a lot of fun. Thank you all for coming to play with me on this little event. Thank you all for hanging out. Thanks for having fun. Also, thank you for the donation. If I can remember my own. Donations, and just so that you are all aware, we are currently sitting at $865 on goal of $1,000 for the month, so that's really good. The team so far has raised $336,137.11. A lot of people doing a lot of good. So we're gonna go around, let everyone say where they can be found, all the great things that they do, all the great fun they have to do. Yes, always glad to hear, to help, and tell stories with everyone. So, let's start with Pope.
Hey everybody, Pope here. Pope World Build on Twitter, Pope World Build on the Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. This was a delight. If you want to see more of this ridiculous face, you get some opportunities. Please, by all means, this Monday, Encounter Roleplay at 3 p.m. Eastern. Come for the finale of A Song of Ice and Fire, The Wall. Things have gotten terribly, terribly wrong. Terribly, terribly dangerous. And let's see just how bloody it all gets. By all means, I implore you, come and see a time of ice and blood, and possibly fire. We shall see. Also, a week from this Sunday, over on Matev 7's channel, we start off a new chapter as we begin in earnest our Masks campaign, Sunset City, with the Mythfits. So, I don't know about you, but I am super psyched to get down with this group that has already established doomed romances, guilt, bizarre origins, and poor life choices. Please, please, I implore you all to also join us there, as things are going to be one hell of a time. With that, I want to thank Deidre, Kat, Jim, Lindy, and all of you who joined us, whether it's live, VOD, YouTube. You're as much a part of the story as we are. And what a story it was. You've done a great job here, putting this wonderful game together. Thank you. So, if you want to play this game with friends, and you should, go and pick that up over on itch. It's a drop in the bucket for a lifetime of gameplay. Do it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you having fun with it. I appreciate everyone who enjoyed themselves and had fun today. And Kat, hi. Thanks for coming. Thanks for playing.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm Kat. I'm Matt Clark of Cord, and I play games on the internet with my friends. And this was a great game. I'm a bit of a history nerd. This is one of my favorite periods. I have based characters out of this era, and in campaign, in various D&D campaigns, just because it's fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating. Family was politics, and politics is family. There was no avoiding it. So yeah, always a pleasure to bounce off of you, Pope. Always a pleasure. And it's same for you, Jim, and and Lindy. It's I don't get. I wish I had more time in my day to do that, because I love it. I never feel more creative than when I am surrounded and trying to keep up with role players like this group. So yeah, this was amazing. Go get it. Yeah, go and then go check out all of these other games, because damn, there's if you're a history buff like I am, they will feed you. They will feed you, and it is there's a few I'm still looking forward to actually diving into. Next time, I'm not doing a whole lot on streams right now. Right now, the only thing on my schedule as far as streaming goes is Tuesdays on Encounter Roleplay at 5 p.m. Eastern, playing Coriolis, which has become... Well, it started out as a Firefly / Farscape in space. The game itself is described as Arabian Nights in space, but it's gotten intensely more personal than that. And if you want to watch Shauna give a masterclass on how to bleed your players with 1,000 paper cuts, this is the one, because you never feel the cut until it's bleeding, and she is great at it. And we all handed her a drawer full of knives, and she is unhesitatingly using them, and it's beautiful. We have our penultimate episode next week, so please do come join us at 5 p.m. Eastern on Encounter Roleplay. It's a lot of fun. And thank you for donating. Thank you for donating. Keep it up.
I appreciate that. I appreciate everything. I also appreciate you coming and playing today. Thank you so much. Jim, hey, you didn't have to talk to yourself today.
No, I didn't. It was great. Maybe next time. Yeah, no, this was so much fun. I never have I been more eager to stab someone. So, the moment I heard about this, I was like, "Oh fuck yes!" Anyway, it was just like, "Yeah, please." So this was great. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I enjoy bouncing off these people, as always, and it's just the sheer richness of the story created by it is just glorious. I love the format. The moment I heard about this, the moment he told me about this, I went and I picked it up. Please pick this up. As I think the For the Queen model works particularly well for something like this. So yeah, definitely if you're interested in these things in history and history of Roman politics, things of that nature, you owe it to yourself to get this. Also, thank you again for pledging. It's incredibly freaking important right now. So definitely keep doing that. What am I doing? That's an excellent question. Tomorrow, Thursday afternoon, I am going to be over on Encounter Roleplay running Deadlands Noir, Dreams of Dust. We are halfway through our mini campaign right now. It's my own variant on Deadlands Noir, where it's more of a Western noir. They're out in the Dust Bowl region. It's a traveling carnival, and there are a lot of terrible things happening in the tiny town that they're visiting. And they're starting to, the revelations are starting to come. So we're now at that hitting the top of the roller coaster and getting ready to come crashing down. And I'm going to be very much looking forward to seeing how that goes. So definitely, if you're interested in that stuff, tune in for that. Thursday night, I'm back over on my channel. I play in a game of The Sprawl that is a Powered by the Apocalypse game that is cyberpunk, run by our MC Brian. I play a very, very kind cyborg who kills people, and it's been a lot of fun. We have with that campaign, we are also running a donation drive for the Veil Project. So if you want to watch us fling ourselves at increasingly insane opponents while supporting a good cause, feel free to tune into that. On Saturdays, I run Invisible Sun. On Sundays, normally I do one-shots of various types. And in the evenings, we have our Dark Matter campaign, The Ghosts of Saltmaw. It's Ghosts of Saltmarsh in Space, run by our station master, Alyssa, quite wonderfully. Not going to happen this Sunday because I'm taking a little break, but it shall be on future Sundays. Monday nights, I'm over on Salty Sweet Games, playing in their 5e campaign, Strange Invasion, Assault on the Barrier Peaks. And Tuesday nights on my channel, we've got a little mini campaign going right now of Casketland, a PBTA occult western. So if any of those things interest you, come forth and check them out. I am OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter, and my website is jimyesthatjim.com. Thank you so much. This has been wonderful.
Well, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for playing. Thank you all who choose to go and look at the games that I write and or buy them. I appreciate that. Also, this is my point where I ask, if you've ever bought one of my games and you had fun playing it, just leave a rating. Just leave a rating or a comment. Or on any game that you've bought on itch. Please, because it actually helps a lot of the creators, Algorithms are funny things. We are now bound and tied to algorithms. Horrible that we are. But as for me, hi all, you know me. I'm at DojaJonathan on Twitter, or Proxygoth as me for you as you see me around on Twitch. And tonight, you can find me over on Wandering DM as Witcher Family of Wraiths, episode 21. Hi, the Wild Hunter in play, and we be running, y'all. There's juicy details, there's family issues, there's complicated deals made with Gunter O'Dim that may or may not have been wise, but right now it's GTFO, cause I ain't fighting the Wild Hunt. Just throwing that out there. And then tomorrow here, we'll be back for some more. If you like history, if you like all of the juicy, nerdy classic stuff that I do, we're reading our way through the Aeneid. We are doing an analysis and recitation of the entire Aeneid. We are on book 6. It will be a long one, because book 6 is over 900 lines long, y'all. Lots of fun times coming up. Gonna probably continue that also on Friday. Pick up book 7 on Friday. Thursday night, you can find me over on Wandering DM for Sisterhood of the Magical Blade, our OVA campaign, which is an anime-inspired fighting evil monsters, Oni, with magical girls with swords, and the unfortunate Oni Lord who had been trapped for who knows how long, imprisoned as a off-brand soda can, was released. But we were really like, no, you can't leave because you signed your life away kind of thing. He's very put upon. We're sorry. We're not sorry at all. We're not sorry at all. But if you like girls, swords, anime, fun things, come check that out. It's really kind of cute. Oh yeah, time is right. There's also a ruddy great Cyclops in the sea who may have made a witcher fly. If you ever wanted to see a bear fly, I've seen a bear witcher fly. But, yep. And then on Friday over on Wandering DM, we are back with Season 2 of Cyberpunk Red. We get to play with the rules. We're playing with the full rules. All of the fun times that are coming from that. Yeah, it's great. It's good. Come hang out. We're having fun. Pope has a question.
How many times have you gotten shot already?
We only had the premiere last week, and I didn't get shot. Someone may have fired an arrow into the room in which I was standing, and it exploded. But that's not me getting shot. I did, however, prove that... Okay, spoiler alert for those of you who don't know. I am a major nerd and geek. I am also a major product of the 80s and early 90s. So, when I say that one of my favorite TV series of all time may have inspired a portion of the character that I am playing, and I made sure that this character called out on screen the fact that her great hero is B.A. Baracus, the DM gave us a combat RV last season. I had 2 months with which to play as a tech. Who put a NOS system and a combat plow on the front of their B.A. Baracus van? This tech. Who may have killed people last week? They were like, aren't you want to swerve and avoid these 4 oncoming, 4x4s? I'm like, 4x4 versus my van with a combat plow. 18d6
That's what the plow is for.
18d6 damage, yo.
By the way, go look up the clip on Mythbusters if you're curious as to what that will actually look like.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. But it's great. It's a great mess. Proof positive that the A-team is fun. So yes, that was Friday. Come check that out because that's great. And then Saturday, I get to drive on Wandering DM for Black Flag, our Rapscallion campaign, which is pirates and emotions and complex things, and they crashed a party, and they may or may not have lost one of their, one half of the glorious sailing ship, and, Lindy's character may have been kidnapped, ? By one of the villains. Yeah, the lights are on, but nobody's home as she walks away from the dance floor, so, you know. And Pope's like, what the hell? You'll find out this week. We only have 3 more episodes of that, so we'll see what happens next. But as I said, come check it out, come hang out, come follow us on Twitter, follow these wonderful people because they are fabulous and they come do these things with me. And come follow everyone else and tell stories, tell tales, read, and have fun. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye, friends.